Hi, I'm Congressman Toff de Venecia. I represent the 4th District of Pangasinan. I am the chairman of the newly created Special Committee on Creative Industry and Performing Arts in the lower house. I am also the lead convener of the 59-member Arts, Culture, and Creative Industries block of the 18th Congress, and I am one of the authors of the Philippine Creative Industries Development Bill in the lower house. The Creative Economy Council of the Philippines, which is led by Paolo Mercado, and the DTI identified 2030 as the year in which the Philippines should be the #1 creative economy in all of ASEAN. It's an ambitious and lofty goal, I have to admit, but it's totally doable. So we are defining what the creative economy is, which is basically economic activities whose origins come from individual skill, talent, and creativity, and has a propensity for wealth and job generation through harnessing intellectual property. And then we are also defining the sectors that belong to this umbrella. What we are doing is we are aggregating each of these sectors into 9 strategic developmental domains as based on the UNCTAD framework. So you have audio and audiovisual media design, and then you have the object-making design sector, and then you have the place-making design sector, visual arts, performing arts, traditional cultural expressions, creative services, and then you have monuments and sites. You have digital interactive media, and then as a final domain, you have books, publishing, and printed media. You might think there are so many sectors and only 9 representatives in the council, but we account for that concern by providing an opportunity for ad hoc committees to be created so that absolutely everybody in the creative sector will have a platform to be able to voice and air out their concerns. There will also be a creative industry development plan, which basically provides for road mapping for each of these creative sectors. Then there has to be adjustments in terms of strategies being pursued by the government. And that's why in the bill, we are also proposing for a creative education plan so that the curriculum can be more responsive to the needs of the creative industries, especially in the dawn of the 4th Industrial Revolution. It's not even a dawn, actually. It's upon us already. We are also proposing to institutionalize certain services that should be availed of by our creative firms and creative stakeholders. One such service is the Shared Service Facility, which is basically infrastructure, both physical and digital. We are also proposing the creation of a venture fund because there are a lot of creative startups out there and they're looking for investors. So we want to be able to offer that alternative to be able to get the state to invest in your creative startup. We're also proposing for a creative startup fund because, you know, this bill, this creative industry bill, it cannot exist in a vacuum. It actually works hand in hand with the freelance bill, which I also principally authored and has thankfully passed on 3rd and final reading in the lower house. The goal really is to be able to get freelancers to formalize into the economy, to become registered business entities so that they can enjoy the privileges of being a formal entity, and so that in times of crisis, such as like in this pandemic that we're currently in the middle of, they won't be left behind. We want to change this stigma that there's no money to be made by being a creative. But now that creatives are starting to consolidate, to have a seat in the policy table, I think that's also another way of us Filipinos giving back to local creative talent by ensuring that all of us work together to ensure that this bill becomes law. Creativity is the ultimate renewable resource, and strip away everything from the Filipino. What's left is always going to be the Filipinos' talent and creativity, and it's really world-class. It's unlike any others any other brand of creativity that exists here in Asia. In fact, DTI Secretary Mon Lopez said that the number one comparative advantage of the Filipino is his or her creativity. I really do believe that the future is creative. But a creative future is not something that we can just leave to chance. It's something that we have to plan for. It's something that we all have to work together on to be able to achieve, if not for ourselves, but for our future creatives. If we truly want to support our creatives in the country, then let's do our share and do our part in ensuring that this bill, the Creative Industry Development Bill, as well as a Freelancers Protection Bill, become law in the 18th Congress.